With Halloween right around the corner, I wanted to share this Halloween makeup and costume idea that is perfect if you're trying to throw something together last minute or you just don't really want to go all out. Today I'm sharing how I do a skeleton makeup look for Halloween. Now I love this look because you can really finish the costume with things you already own. You can just wear black and white clothes you already have in your closet, you can throw on an old wig, or you can get one of those skeleton onesies from Amazon. And for this skeleton makeup look, I'm using only drugstore makeup and only 10 products. So let's dive in, but first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things budget beauty. If that sounds interesting to you, then become the newest member of the Slashed Squad by hitting subscribe and the bell icon. So I'm starting out this easy skeleton look with a pretty normal foundation routine. I'm going to prime using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. Ooh, I'm almost out. I don't know where you are and how the weather is, but it is still slightly warm here in Vegas, and I never liked when it was hot on Halloween because you have all this makeup on, you're in a costume, you're gonna be sweating. But this primer does a really good job at keeping foundation in place through anything. Today I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. My shade is N3, so this is a shade that matches me like perfectly. However, if you have a foundation that's slightly too light for you, that's just been sitting in the back of a drawer somewhere, I would highly suggest you get some use out of it for this look, because looking a little bit washed out, a little pale, will definitely add to the effect. So just a cool way to get use out of something that maybe you weren't using, but don't go out and buy a foundation that doesn't match you purposefully, because we'll be able to still get a great effect using your normal foundation. I'm just gonna build up a little bit over some hyperpigmentation I have, but I am purposefully not color correcting or doing anything under my eyes yet. I'm also gonna do my normal brow routine. Now, obviously I have black brows, so I'm just using my normal brow pencil, but you can definitely punch up this look by using a darker brow shade than you normally do. And you don't even have to go out and buy a brow pencil. You can use like a dark eyeshadow to darken them up. And that's just gonna help with the overall dark eye area appearance. Next, I'm gonna do some strategic highlighting using a concealer shade that is much lighter than my skin tone. Now, if you have a concealer that you like to use in your under eye area that's just slightly lighter than your skin tone, that'll work too. This is definitely a little bit lighter than that for me. I am using the Flower Get Real Serum Concealer in Vanilla. So unlike everything we've been told recently, I am going to apply this in somewhat of a large triangle under my eye, but definitely lower, like on my cheekbone. And also pop some in the middle of my forehead as well as my chin. And as you can see, I'm actually kind of staying away from my under eyes because we're gonna be putting on dark eyeshadow there anyway, so there's really no point in trying to highlight that area. Now we're gonna start creating dimension with a contour stick. This is the Wet n Wild makeup stick in their contour shade Where's Walnut. First, I am gonna contour my cheekbones with this, but in a slightly more exaggerated shape. I'm creating sort of a U shape around my cheekbones, upside down U on the chin, and then just some general contouring on the forehead. And this is just really gonna give us more of that sunken in appearance, give some contrast to the highlights and hollows that we're creating. And this contour shape is definitely gonna drag the face down a bit as well. Basically the opposite of what I tell you normally. We're always going for like lifted and bright. Today we are not. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we're gonna take a break from the face and move on to eyes. So I'm gonna start with my Milani eyeshadow primer. And I'm putting that all over the top lid as well as under the eye, because we will be putting eyeshadow in that spot too, which is another reason why I wanted to keep the concealer away from this area, is just to minimize on how many layers of makeup are in the under eye area. Next, I'm taking a somewhat cool toned smoky eyeshadow palette. This is the Milani Gilded Mini Palette in Called Me Old Fashioned. As you can see, we do have a black shadow, there's a taupe, and with a very dense flat brush, I'm using the Sigma Wide Shader in E59. Remember, I do have a coupon code /beauty for Sigma. I'm gonna go ahead and pack this all over the lid, and I am just applying this in a patting motion, which will reduce as much fallout as possible, but it's not the end of the world if you do get fallout, because there's gonna be a lot of black shadow on your face. But this also helps kind of get the most opaque coverage possible. So I'm really packing that on. Now, as I build it out, I am going to sort of flare it toward the tail of my brow. And I'm also gonna bring it up into this entire hollow, like right up against where the bridge of my nose starts. So you can really just nestle your brush in there and find where your natural bone structure hits. And that'll be the inner corner of your shadow. And I'm gonna do the same underneath. So I'm bringing this black shadow to the lower lash line, all the way around. Now, the reason why this look is so easy is that it really doesn't need to be super precise. We're gonna be doing a lot of blending, so don't worry if your two sides are kind of different shapes like mine is right now. It's for sure trust the process kind of process. As you can see in the inner corners, I'm kind of going a little bit lower, sort of filling in my under eye bags. And I did that by just pressing the brush right in that orbital bone socket. Now I'm gonna take the brown in this palette and I'm gonna use that to start blending out these black edges, sort of soften and smoke them out. And honestly, you can bring this all the way up to the brow. You don't really need to leave any space there. And that's why I was saying using a darker brow color will just enhance how like big and sunken in this ends up looking. And we are going all the way around with this brown. And this brown is kind of filling out the rest of that under eye orbital bone for me personally, because mine like starts down here. I have pretty sunken under eyes. Now this is a gorgeous eyeshadow palette on its own, and that's why I love using like normal makeup for Halloween looks, because you'll get more use out of it than buying Halloween makeup. This is just such a beautiful cool tone, smoky, night out type of look palette, especially for fall and winter. So if you don't already own it, highly suggest it. I love this formula, and this is definitely not gonna be the only look you create with it, for sure. I kind of want to darken up right under the front of my brow so that it kind of connects with the black. So I'm just kind of patting that with a bit more black. I'm really spending a lot of time blending. You don't need to, but I am trying to get this to look a little more polished, and I want that gradient to just be a bit smoother from the black into the brown into the rest of my face makeup, because that creates a little bit more of a natural recession in and gives it a whole-like dimension. And then I am just gonna kind of blend outward toward the temple on both sides, just with whatever's left on my brush. I'm not adding any color, I'm just pulling whatever is excess. Okay, I'm just gonna curl my lashes really quickly. And if your eyelash curler took off some of the black like it did for me, go in there and patch it up. I'm gonna tightline both my upper and lower waterline with the Essence Stay and Play Gel Eyeliner. This is in Black Raven. And I'm also running it through my lash line, especially on the bottom, so that way my skin tone isn't peeking through and kind of breaking up all this black. And you can use like a little smudge or liner brush to help you out with that as well. Then you can use whatever mascara you want. Today I just grabbed the So Fierce Eyes Wide Open mascara from Revlon. Again, this would be a perfect opportunity if you have a mascara that you feel is like too clumpy or heavy and it's been sitting in the back of your drawer. This is a great time to grab that. We don't mind spider lashes for this type of look, right? Now, actually grabbing that thin liner brush again, this is from an Amazon brush set, but you can see it is just a very thin kind of straight brush. You could also use an angled brush for this, like a brow brush. And I'm gonna tap back into that black and I'm gonna create sort of a frown line, starting from the edge of the bridge of our nose that we brought that black all the way up to, and then just kind of going up in the angle of our brow. And then I'm kind of flicking it inward or outward in the direction of my brow. And I'm just gonna fill in any space in my brow that look patchy so that it's just continuous color. And I'm just gonna fill in slightly this gap to create shadow, just kind of pulling that black out a bit. All right, we are ready to move on to the nose, probably the easiest part of this whole thing. I'm gonna use that same Essence liner, the Stay and Play in Black Raven. And we're gonna create a skeleton nose. Basically, you can draw like an M across the bridge of your nose. And then we are going to droop it down around the nostril, and now we're gonna fill the entire thing in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lightly start filling this in with the pencil. I'm not too worried about getting it completely opaque and even just yet, but everywhere that I want to be black, I'm kinda getting a thin layer of it. Now I'm gonna tap back into that black, and I'm gonna start patting and blending that all over the nose. And this is actually gonna really set it. So you have that waterproof pencil on first, and then you have powder on top to set it and really get that opaque color. Might need to switch to a smaller brush for these like tight points. And in these creases. And then I'm just gonna kind of pull up at the points of the M. Just kind of smoke them upwards just a tad. Again, that creates that gradient and sort of the natural recession into what is supposed to be a hole in the face. Now again, with our eyeliner, this is such a star of the show, like a good waterproof black liner. This one's under $5, so I don't mind putting it all over my face. We are going to map out our cheekbones as well as the edge of our skeleton smile. So I'm gonna go from like the lower edge of where we put that contour stick, follow the shape, and then come down right about here, just like that. And again, with our black shadow, I'm placing the black shadow right up against the liner and then blending downward. So right now it looks a little crazy. It's like a little skeleton sideburn. Let's do some blending. So again, taking that same blending brush I used on the eyes, I'm gonna go into the brown and start blending from the black downward. So I am blending this basically all the way down to the jawline, but I want the color to be really sheer as the gradient moves downward. So that way it's not like all brown right here, but you can see it gradually getting lighter. And my whole thing with this look as well, even though we are using like normal makeup, not Halloween face paint makeup, is that I didn't want to use a ton of different products. So that's why you see me going back to the eyeliner and this shadow palette. So that way it truly is budget friendly, even if you don't have these products on you already. But even if you have something similar, you can get it done for sure. Okay, very good. Time for the fun part, the teeth. Okay, I've been looking at myself in the mirror front on, and I don't think I brought the cheeks in far enough. So I think I am gonna go ahead and bring them in just a little bit more and see if we can finagle this to about there. So see how much I added? Yeah, I think that's gonna make a bigger impact. Okay, so I'm just gonna fill this in. I'm gonna do the same little blending steps that I did before. Yeah, I'm way happier with that. Yay! I was like, this could either take the look to the next level or totally ruin it. And I think we're at a better place now because you really get that. Now let's do the teeth. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is conceal the lip area with the same concealer shade I've been using. And I'm just gonna kind of go from my laugh line all the way in and just blend. I might need to clean up the chin contour a bit when we're done, but let's just go from there. Back with our Essence pencil. Actually, I think I need to sharpen this now. All right, sharpen, because we've been using this a lot and it is a softer pencil. Get a little bit of a tip going there. It doesn't have to be super sharp, but this will help us be more precise with our teeth. We're gonna start in the middle, basically right at our Cupid's bow, and work our way out. And you are matching up the lines so that when your mouth is closed, they somewhat line up. Doesn't have to be perfect, but definitely helps the illusion. Now that we're at the edge of the mouth, I want to extend the opening of the mouth. So I'm just gonna go from my inner corner out like that. There is still a tiny, tiny gap between the edge and the cheek. And then I will continue the teeth. And you can see I am kind of giving the teeth a little bit of a rounded line because we are giving that illusion that it's kind of curving into our skull. Taking the thin pencil brush again, and like I said, if you don't have this, you can use an angled brow brush. Just tapping the slightest bit of black on it, not a lot at all. I'm gonna go over the teeth and then also blend upward so that you get kind of this pointed, faded out look. What I'm also gonna do is between each of the lines on the top and bottom, like between the mouth line, I'm gonna kind of round it out a little bit. We are almost at the finish line, people. Now we're gonna go in with black lipstick. There are a few on the market, both Halloween and non-Halloween options. This is the Milani Color Fetish matte lipstick, but in one of their limited edition shades called Smoke. I believe they did release this for Halloween last year, but it's always been available. And I'm gonna focus this just on the inner part of the lip. So I really just put it on the bottom and then mushed my lips together. I'm not trying to fill in too much. I just really want it dark in the center. The finishing touch on this skeleton makeup is to really get the teeth to pop, so I'm using the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. I'm gonna apply this toward the center on each tooth that we drew in kind of like a dot. Try your best not to go over the black. And if you feel like the pencil's picking up too much of your foundation and now the white is looking a little more beige or gray, just wipe it off on the back of your hand until you get it to look all white again. And now I'm gonna blend this out using a regular flat eyeshadow brush. I'm just pulling the white upward on the top, and then I'll be pulling downward on the bottom. Really helps to like puff out your cheeks and your lips like this, so you can kind of get more surface area. You know what? I think I do kind of want to connect the mouth into the cheeks. Just last minute decision. Now you are going to want to lock this in with setting spray. I'm just going to use my normal one. This is the Wet n Wild Natural Finish setting spray. And that's it, y'all. We are a skeleton, and from here you can get so creative on how you want to finish the costume. I do have a little idea of how I want to top off this look. 1 second. And there we go. My personal finishing touch is this white wig I got on Amazon last year. Pretty sure it was about $20. I got it from my Glam Ursula Halloween makeup look. But I feel like it's such a versatile Halloween wig whenever you want this sort of like ghostly white hair. And then I just have this black shirt with poofy sleeves on. I mean, that is really it. This is definitely enough to count as in costume without having to go through all of the stress of actually looking for a costume and planning something out. This is great for last minute or just if you want to stay low maintenance this year. If you plan on recreating this look, let me know where you're gonna wear it. Is it school? Is it work? Is it a party? Tell me in the comments below. Today's shout out goes to Megan and Remy 33. Thanks for being a member of the Slashed Squad. And join me over in this video next for another Halloween makeup tutorial where I turn into the modern day Cruella de Vil. I'll see you over there. Bye!